I just think that where you find true value is in creators like you, where you're really, really sharing and resonating and vibing with your true colors, you know, and just like you said, you're all about the colors as well.
Yeah,
but, you know,
all the colors. That's why it's color me crazy.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm like, every single color, we honor it because we're all in different phases of this journey, of this life. And like, when you get to find other people, other soul friends, as I like to call them, that are on that similar wavelength, like, you reach out. That's why I was like, no, I'm gonna email.
Yo, I'm so glad, because let me te digo, I'm a picky too. Like, I'm just like, I always do. Like, also when you think about your Instagram profile and all of that, the way that it's like, this is the best version of me that I'm putting out there. This is a way of me interacting with my best version of self. Even in the moments where it's like raw and I'm just coming out like, yo, this is where I'm at. And like, I'm not like perfect, and I'm perfect in my imperfection. So like with that, like our content is just like, it's such a great tool to explore the self. And this doesn't mean you have to put a camera in front of your face and do content the way that I do, but like it took me a minute también, you know, it took me a minute to find my voice, and I found it through content creation, you know. I found it through putting out. If you look at the archives, like, honey, Hot Mess Express, Messica Simpson, all the way, like, but beautiful, but like but like beautiful, because even in that moment, I felt so proud of that creation. Yes. You know, I felt so proud of myself. So like, do it. I'm in the process of curating a course about like how to utilize content creation as a means of personal development, and like incorporating shadow work and mirror work into it, because I do think it's a tool. And the thing with like what we're doing right now, like the profession hasn't been created yet. We're creating it. We're creating it. So that's why I think a lot of us who are in this sort of like limbo of like, do I have to play the game, or what do I do? If the game, the way that the people keep telling you to play the game is exhausting you, then the only thing that we can do as content creators is create our own game.
We got to.
Honey, we doing it.
Yeah, we have to, because, and like you said, like that or as you said, societal view of like what a like creator is or whatever, influencers, I'm like, that doesn't work for me. Like, you know, I'm sorry, it doesn't work for me. But yeah, for myself and for anyone included, whenever you're getting ready for that course, you let us know, because
I got you.
I myself, like, I mean, we can sit here all day and talk about the negatives of social media, right? But we don't necessarily need to,
no, I'm kidding.
You know, and we can though, because there's a lot, right?
There's a lot of positive too.
Girl, don't do this to me, Nikon.
Honey, Nikon said night. Nikon said night.
Look, you can see subject is too bright. It's because my energy is too bright. You know what?
Yes, it's my aura.
I'd be like, this camera can't handle my aura. So I don't know if it's the endless battery. I don't know. Figure out for another time. Anyway.
Yeah. The social medias. Yeah. It could be a deep, dark hole. It can be. But as light workers, we can. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, but it can be different. Yeah. Yes. And I love to talk about that too, because what you said about how it can be a part of your personal development, I think is really of a lot of value. And I say that because I genuinely believe that ever since I started sharing my truth, and this doesn't work for everybody, right? Like, in no way am I telling anyone like, oh, you got to go on there and like share everything. Like, no, it's different for every single person. But for my journey and my story, what it allowed me to do was it allowed me to also start to release the shame, right, of what I was going through. It helped me also show myself that regardless of what I was going through, I could still connect with people. I could still build community. I can still show another person that they're not alone, you know? Yeah. So it's like, that's where I saw that tool as a power, where it's like, from wherever you are, you have the ability to connect with another person that's thousands of miles away and connect to their heart, connect to their soul. Because I have watched videos, also I've seen some of yours as well, where they speak to your heart and you want to do something different, you know, or you want to act differently, or you want to think about something else, you know. And it's like, I wanted to be also one of those people where someone can look and see, no matter what she's going through, like, she's going, you know, like, she's still doing it, whatever she's going through, she's, you know, she's doing it. But I wanted to share that because as negative as social media can be, it can also be a beautiful place, because for me, this journey has also saved me in a lot of ways, you know, saved me in a lot of ways. And even when I sit down and I look at, like you said, those old videos, and, you know, I had done a video where I showed when I started recording myself, like last year up until now, you could feel it in my face. You could see it in my face, that defeat or that darkness that I still had. And even when I was doing talking videos that I have in my camera roll, you can hear that my voice and my energy wasn't there. You know, and just seeing that transformation of all the work I've been doing off camera, right? All the work I've been doing off camera, but those few seconds that I got on camera up until now, you can even see it and feel it. And I look at that, I'm just like, I've been putting in the work, you know? I'm like, I've been putting in the work. So that's where you can pull out those little positives, right? But
absolutely. No, it's beautiful. Sides. It is both sides. You know, and even, you know, in the past, like when I first started creating content, it was still through this lens of like upliftment, but like I still didn't believe it fully in myself. But, you know, with the content creation, you know, there's that phrase, like, you got to fake it till you make it, like that whole sort of thing. It's not really fake it until you make it. Like what y'all see in the initial phases of this, it's like, this is the rehearsal process. This is us like playing with the energy. This is us like playing around with concepts, and just like an actor, you know, working out their acting muscle to like play a role. This is us learning how to play this role. This who we are right now is a role that we've taken on. Now, it feels more natural to me now, but it's because I'm doing the work. It's because I'm looking at myself. It's because, like, I mean, I'm just doing it. And in the beginning, it was awkward. It was so awkward. Yeah. It was so awkward, but like, I still felt like I wanted to do it. And like, unbeknownst to me, it was like me sharing how I was rehearsing with these energies and bringing them to the people. And now it's more grounded. Now it's in my wheelhouse, in my pocket. But then even with that, I'm just like, okay, well, what's the next uncomfortable thing that I could learn how to navigate? You know, I got this. I can sit in this. We can chat forever and be like, blah, 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 blah. Spiritual concepts. Blah, blah, blah. Do you feel inspired? This is who I am now. But like, I'm like, what's the next thing? Maybe the next thing is to be quiet for me, you know? Maybe the next thing is to find more silence and not feel like I have to explain things. Maybe that's the next step is like, all right, explain the same thing, but like in one sentence, you know?
Ooh, that's a hard one for me. Full transparency, that one is so hard for me. Because I'm like, how do I say what I want to say with less? Like, I really do struggle with that. I'm like, is it because I'm a natural storyteller? Or is it because I just can't get to the point? You know? Yeah, and it's like, you know, and I heard that saying that's like, well, people who have their podcasts, have a podcast just like to talk. Like, they just like to hear themselves talk. And I'm like, a little bit, but it's not really the whole thing. I'm like, I just like connection, and I like using the tools that I've been given. And, you know, everyone has their own gift and their own, like, space to create, and this is the way I chose. But I will say, saying less.
It's the storyteller in us. It's the storyteller in us, which is nice. You know, I think, you know, it works. You know, it really does work, especially with just how we are. We've gained consciousness because of storytelling. You know, this is in our blood, in our DNA. And sometimes, you know, when you explain things just one way, somebody doesn't get it, and you need more embellishments and whatnot. I'm not saying how we explain things is a bad thing, pero tú sabes, like, you know, when we're like going off a little bit in the deep end, and it's just like, oh shit, how long have I been talking for already? Oh, okay. I think you got the point.
I'm like, in that case, how long?
I know.
I'm like, ay, nos pasamos already.
So on that was time. We've been talking a lot.
feel like on that note, we're gonna record another session at another day where we get to the point.
It'll just be, I'll say one sentence and then you say one sentence. That will be a fun, like, little trick. Oh, the run-on sentences. I'm just gonna keep adding ands.
Yeah. Have you ever seen people do that? It's kind of like a practice or a technique where someone says a word and the next person says what that kind of means to them, or like the next word, and you just go back and forth.
No, should we do a little bit of it?
We should try it.
Let's try it. Okay. So what are the rules?
I think, watch, I'm like totally gonna butcher it, but what I saw was that someone says a word, right? Okay. The next person says the word that comes to them, when and you continue like that way. So like, let's just say, if I say blue, what's the first thing you think about?
Ocean.
Animals.
Dolphins.
Soft.
Pillow.
Sleepy.
Marijuana.
That took a turn. Smoky.
Quartz.
Ooh, mysterious.
We lose you.
I said mysterious.
Oh, yes. Edward Cullen.
Forest.
Portland.
Oregon.
Redwood.
Is that even where Portland?
It is.
Oh, it is? Okay.
I know, I'm shit at geography.
I was like, insert cricket noises on my book.
Is that Portland?
Oops. You know what? I will say that practice is kind of hard.
It is hard. And you learn a lot about the other person.
Mm-hmm.
I like this. A lot.
You should try. You try starting it. I started with the randomest word. Here, let's try. Let's try like a deep one. Okay, here. This is what I would want to try. Let's try one that's like a little bit like deeper, a little bit darker, maybe a little bit more like meaningful than us saying like food and pizza or something like that. You know. Let's try it. Let's see.
Okay. Let's see how deep we can go.
Yeah, let's try it. Let's see. I would say, Rue, before we start, this is also like an intuition test or like trusting what you say, because I've been really working on listening to like that first word or that first thing you want to say and like just saying it and not like trying to manipulate or put the embellishment, you know?
Ooh,
so let's
into my core.
Let's try it.
Okay. Let's ground. Earth.
Water.
Yemaya.
Pachamama.
Africa.
Mother.
Trees.
Earth.
Life.
Love.
Collective.
Intention.
Tribe.
Brothers and sisters.
Magic.
Love.
Endless.
Infinite.
The stars.
Joy.
To be a kid.
Laughing.
Purity.
Bliss.
Freedom.
That one, I will say, what came to my mind wasn't a word. It was a feeling.
I know. How interesting is that?
Like, I did not think of a word. Like, I was completely blank, and I just felt it. That was interesting.
I like this.
I like it.
This is nice. The deeper one, like, it's, how great. How great. Because, like, this is, like, the work, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, when it comes to, like, manifestational work and overall just helping yourself, a lot of those initial, like, self, like, growth things or whatnot, it's just like learning how to just enjoy things again, and that things can be enjoyable, and that the simple things, it's what matters, that, you know, like earth, the life, the stars, joy, community, people, brothers and sisters. Some beautiful words were said there, and it's just like by the end of that we were taken on this like energetic daydream. And when you started laughing, me dio cosquilla. Like, I was just like, it made me want to laugh with you. And I felt like a kid again. And then when you said joy, like, I felt that bliss. I felt that freedom of like, and like, if we can take ourselves into these places and where authentic emotional responses come up, if we're feeling joyful, if we're feeling blissful, if we're feeling happy, if we're feeling energetic and intentional and peaceful, the universe is going to give us just that. And like, it's as simple as this, you know, you don't got to sit down with the crystals or anything like that. You can, if that language resonates with you. You can throw cards if that language resonates with you. But it's literally within you, and in this particular situation, with somebody else, you know?
Yes. That's so beautiful. Yeah, I've been having goosebumps a lot of different times in this convo, so I thought it was so funny you were saying that too. Because, as you said, we come back to it. What we just did was so simple. It was using our gut to just say the words that came up. And we literally produced a collective vision, because I literally, like, by the time we're at the end, like, I had that open field of like being a kid and like playing. Yes. And we had no intention I had no intention to even go there. Like, to be quite honest, like, I didn't even know that was going to happen.
No,
and
me neither.
We just need that openness to do something that might seem out of the ordinary and just be like, let's just try it. Because look, you said it right on the nose, that where it's like, you can have your soul produce everything that you're looking for, you know? And you could say that us being connected, like, and I'll use this as an example, you can sit with your crystals and your candles, and that's beautiful. That's a way to channel and be with yourself, right? But we're connected to wires, we're talking, we're set up in a way that's like more formal. But if you allow it to, you can have an experience, you know? That's the power of connection, of connecting not only with yourself, but another person, like you said, and you just never know. I love that.
Ay, qué cosa, ay, qué emoción. Like, I'm just like, I have goosebumps. I love it. Literally.
Be like, we need to take some pictures here so people believe us. Because I don't even care. You know, no one needs to believe us. We had the experience. No one needs to believe
Y'all
us.
Y'all felt it. If you listen to this, you felt it. You know, you felt it too. You probably close your eyes and listen to these words. And like, literally, it's just words. Words are just vibrations. Words are vibrations.
Yes. And they have the power, yes, to destroy, but they have the power to create. And the more we use them to create the life, the reality, the vibes, energy, whatever we want in this world, it's gonna happen, you know? And like, I was telling myself that, like, even on the bad days, but I'm like, one day it's gonna happen.
It is.
But we can't give up, you know? And so for anyone listening too, maybe try it with someone.
Like, try it. Go grab like your abuelita in the house or whatever, like, you know, whoever you have, call your best friend, get them on FaceTime and just be like, let's just try this out. And you know what? Start where you're at, you know, also like, start where you're at, whatever comes to mind. You know, if you're feeling some intense feelings, I also see this working with intense feelings.
Ooh, yeah. That's why I said, I'm like, let's try a little different one, because
you said dark. You did say dark.
I did say dark, but I didn't get there. But you know what? We went somewhere light, and I think that's what our souls needed today. Because we had a heavy like dream life last night. Did. And today as you were telling me earlier, it was heavy. For me, it was too. So maybe I wanted to go there because I might have been feeling at surface level, but our bodies told us what we really needed. Like, genuinely, that's what happened. As you could tell, my awakened, like, my physically awake body was like, let's go dark. That's not what came out. You know?
Wait, what's your sign?
Aries.
Wait, espérate, we're both Aries?
Yeah.
Qué cosa. But like, very tranquilo, like very like chill Aries. What are your other placements? Do you know your other placements?
I don't know them by heart, but I have them right here.
Dame, please.
I'm like, give me one second. Because, like, you know about it. Yeah, you know about it, and I'm sure that you can give me a better insight because, like,
I see. I love this. I love these languages of, like, contextualizing one's experience, you know. They exist in many ways. It doesn't have to be astrology. You can.
Oh, hell yeah. But it's still interesting.
It is, you know?
I'm like, we're always ready.
Maybe your spiritual language is the Pottermore test and you know which Harry Potter house you're in. And that's okay. Maybe you're a Ravenclaw rising and like
I don't even know.
Gryffindor's son.
I'm like, I still don't know.
I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
No, I know the Gryffindor, Slytherin. I know all that, but I watched them all, pero tampoco estoy like tan enredada.
No, me tampoco. Like, I'm just like throwing them out there for pop culture references for the, for the listeners.
Some of those are very helpful. I got them. So Sun in Aries, Moon in Pisces, Ascendant in Leo, Mercury in Aries.
Okay.
Venus in Aquarius.
Okay.
Mars in Aries.
Okay.
Jupiter in Pisces.
Okay. That's a good one.
Yeah, Saturn in Aries.
Saturn in Aries, okay.
Uranus Aquarius.
Okay.
Neptune Aquarius.
Okay.
Pluto's in Sagittarius.
Okay.
That was a lot of okays, and they had different tones, so I'm a little worried here. I'm like, some okays were like, okay. So like, real quick, like, also like so rising sign is how you present yourself to the world. It's just like how you present yourself, and it's the first way we know how to present ourselves in the world. You know, it's one of the first ways. So it's how we come into the world. So with Leo, which makes sense why, like, once upon a time, maybe you were very talkative and very just like, very much like in your element, may have felt way more in your element, and then something switched off and you were like, ooh, gosh, what is going on? I feel like going inward. And that usually happens around our teenage years, which is, so like different aspects of our astrological chart present themselves in different moments in our lives. So for instance, our moon sign is more prevalent. Moon, it controls our emotions. All of that is more prevalent when we're teenagers, obviously, because we're emotional fucking like messes. We're moody. You're like dark. So Pisces is the very last water sign of the zodiac. Pisces is very fine going into the depths, in the ethereal. They're the witchiest of the witchiest of signs. They're very ethereal. I love some ethereal vibes, that's for sure.
Y'all are like Fleetwood Mac sort of Stevie Nicks situation, just like ready to, you know, you're down for like a moon circle, like all of that. But with that being said, with Pisces, by the time we get Pisces is the very last sign of the zodiac. So by the time we get to the very last sign of the zodiac, each sign has learned from all the previous signs. And it's just like kind of not saying that one is better than the other, just saying that because of the lessons of the previous sign, the way that they interact with the world is going to be a little different. With Aries, we're the first sign of the zodiac. So you have the first sign of the zodiac and the last sign of the zodiac in very like major placements. Pisces, what happens though, since they're the very last sign of the zodiac, whereas Aries is life, Pisces is death.
Oh,
Pisces.
I feel that inside of me. I actually do, like, no, like, real talk. I always feel like very like juxtaposed inside of myself. Like, it's either like the extreme of like positivity or the extreme of like that death cycle.
Yeah, because Aries is the optimist. Aries is life. Oh my God, look at life. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful to be connected to this life. And then Pisces is like, but life. But life.
Existential crisis on repeat. I feel that.
Yep, definitely. Because y'all are so tuned in, tapped in, turned on to the ethereal. Although you have this deep inner knowing that there is other available and existent, it doesn't change the reality of the right now and how you are experiencing the right now, which is Pisces babes. When there is catastrophe happening in the world, they're the first ones who are like feeling it in like a very like sensory, in a sensory way. Y'all feel the you know, the drainage of the earth. Y'all feel the pain. Y'all feel the collective trauma in ways that a lot of people don't very much like consciously are aware of it. Y'all are usually in the forefront. Y'all know it before like other people know it. That's
but like, you know, like, sorry to cut you off. What I was saying was so interesting about that is that ever since I was little, I always wondered, but like, why is everyone just like living their lives and all these things are happening? Like, and that was ever since I was younger.
Yeah.
And I know that comes from a lot of different things, right? A lot of things that I've lived through as well, but I always had a really deep understanding or knowing that something far greater was like going on at all times, you know, at all times. And I never felt like any of like my friends knew that. Like all of my friends were just like obsessing about the cartoons that were going to be next. And I was just like, but what is happening in our home countries? All of our children are starving. Like I was always very like concerned about everything in our society going on.
Confirmation. Yeah. So that's why like when you feel things, you could be a swamp when you feel things.
Oh yeah.
Very much a swamp because you feel very deeply. Your emotional body came like as an empath. So like you have to clear.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm like, it did. And I think that in of itself, and for anyone listening that's also resonates with being an empath or feeling very deeply, I think there is a thin line. And I know that this has been a big part of my healing journey, and I'm very much working on it. But it's like, how can we also like cut boundaries with that, right?
Yeah.
Like you said, not go too into the swamp or not go so... You know, everything has its timing, right? There's times where we need to go there, but also knowing the difference of when that's sucking out your life energy.
Yeah.
You know, like
it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Finding that balance, that's a journey. I'm working on it.
It's the journey for the Pisces too. It's the journey for the Pisces is that how to, like, the point is not to be connected all the time, I think, with this. You know, it's like, it's not like, oh, I want to be connected all the time, because if we were, we'd be so overwhelmed. Like our physical bodies they just weren't built to, although we were made, quote unquote, this is the metaphor, in the image of God, you know, like we are the universe, that's why universe, inverse, universe, we are the universe. Like we are that, but we are here experiencing through the universe's eyes, if that makes any sense. Like we are not necessarily here as it, because if we were, we'd just be like, poof, everything is gravy, everything is cool. But the thing is, once upon a time, everything was gravy, everything was cool, but that gets boring. You know, if we were to have everything that we wanted right away, we'd be so bored of that. That's why we go through all of these pains, all of these character development things in our youth, in our informative years, to then step into this experience of now with like a different set of eyes, being like, oh, wow, I'm still good. I'm still resilient. I'm still here. The gift is here. It's sweeter because we went through everything that we went through. You know, for me, at least, it's better because I'm just like, if I can go through all of that, if I've survived 100% of those days, then I can survive anything in my life. And I get to choose how I survive. I can survive, you know, with pain and doubt and insecurity, or I can survive joyfully, you know, I can survive joyfully. And that's what I'm choosing now. And that's the thing with emotions as well. It's like emotions are real. They're just energy though. And they're like energetic indicators of like what's happening, but they're not the only thing in our experience, you know? With that being said, for you, like this work is like, okay, how do I calibrate? You know, how do I get the momentum going the other way? Because to get a swamp, to transform a swamp and make it moving water, the momentum that it requires, it's making my chest tight, like right over here.
Let's make a river go through there. Let's put some flowers. Let's put, let's do something, because we don't want to live in no dusty, like all stuck up swamp. Like, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, no, we got to get that water to move. And like, it does move with the Pisces. I think I love Pisces because they're so tuned in ways that I'm not. And oftentimes Pisces get really annoyed with me because like I'm always just like a nenito. I'm just like, what's this? What's this? Oh my God, life is great. Life is an adventure, but life. Aren't you here? And they're just like, but do you know but do you know? And I'm just like, out of sight, out of mind, you know? Like,
yeah, but we also have a lot to learn from that. You know, we can't always be like that grudgy, like, oh, but I can't enjoy this piece of pizza because
I know
not everyone can.
Like that.
you know, and it's like, do you remember? And I know a lot of people resonate with this. When you were younger and your parents would be like, pero cómate eso porque hay un niño en África que no tiene nada.
Yo, that ass.
You feel really bad. And that's because I was naturally the empath, and I was like, no.
Yeah.
You know, I'd be like, no. And truth be told, there's validity there. You know, there's reality there.
Yeah.
But as we come into our lives and as we continue to grow and develop, it's okay to enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know? It's okay to enjoy it. You can't always be connected to every single little bit of suffering in the world.
No.
Because it's not always yours to carry.
No.
You know?
I talk about it all the time. We didn't come here to carry the weight of the world on our shoulders. Like, did the world come into existence and did the world go like, you know what? I'm feeling a little heavy. Could y'all carry me for a little bit and my problems? No, the earth came here like full on levitating, gravitating in this like infinite space. Just like, what's up? I'm the earth. Wait, y'all are still stuck on pain and suffering? Like, what are we doing over here? What are we doing? There's literally only so much that we can do. Always and forever. There's literally only so much that we can do. We have the circle of influence and we have the circle of concern. We have the things that we can actually influence. And the only thing that we can influence is the right now, is our moment. And adding our worries, adding our fears, adding our doubts to an already chaotic, fearsome, worrisome situation, is that moving the pendulum in a positive way or a negative way? Or is it just adding to the negative momentum? It's probably just adding to the negative momentum. I'm not saying don't honor your feeling. I'm not saying it's so like it's not okay to grieve because these are our brothers. These are our soul sisters. It's not saying don't grieve, but grieve intentionally, grieve indifferently, you know, grieve by praying, offering thoughts and like people talk about, but like thoughts and prayers just feel so like, does that do anything? It does so much.
It does. Yeah.
It does so much. And if it comes from a place of purity, a love and light, then like you're helping, you're doing enough. You know, that's the thing. That's the first voice. But am I doing enough? Could I be doing more? Could I be doing this? Could I be doing that? It's like, if you really want to, sure, you can be doing more. If it really concerns you, these kids in your homeland that are starving and whatnot, you can create a community of people that, you know, maybe you want to give in some sort of way. Then do that and allow that to be your fuel. Allow that to be your inspiration instead of, you know, binging the next season of God knows what and just like dissociating for a bit, which is like also healing and necessary in its own right.
In moderation, though.
In moderation.
I will say that because I went off the deep end. I had a real like TV addiction, a real phone addiction, and I literally saw something recently where it's like I feel like that's the addiction that we don't talk about a lot because now it's so normal for you to binge anything and everything, and I mean that from TV, your phone, food, everything is just a binge kind of a thing and energy, and that's normal for us. But what I wasn't realizing was that when I was so addicted to TV and all those things was because I was afraid to be alone with my own thoughts. I didn't know how to process what was even going on in my reality, and I was so out of it that for me, the only thing keeping me remotely like connected to something was TV. Right. But then I was like, I've lost myself here. I'm not even connecting with myself. I'm not spending time with myself. And I want to spend time with myself, you know? I want to be free from it too. So it's like in moderation, but yes, we do need to dissociate every once in a while and use our stuff because it's here, you know? It's just plain and simple. That's what's here. But you know what's best for you. And I think we'll find it, you know? We'll find it. I found it eventually. I'm like, I gotta get out of this. Sometimes, like, seriously. I would throw my phone. I'd be like, I mean, not literally, but I'd be like, damn it, you know? I'm like, you
Dead ass. Seriously. Very much the same. Yo también. Like, also with being a content creator también, it's just like, I'm just like constantly trying to check how much time am I spending on my phone. Yeah. Because when the experience is now, like, the experience is now, it's in the moment. If you are going to consume content, you know, we're constantly consuming, and every single thing that we consume is feeding our subconscious mind in some way, shape, or form. It'll pop up. in the way that we show up in the world in some way, shape, or form. Trust and believe it. Like the DARE program, all those things that we grew up with, like it, like what it creates in people. And the power of imagery is just like insane. So with that being said, just make sure you're being intentional about what you're consuming. I'm not saying don't go away, don't dissociate, but like, what are you watching when you're going to these places? I don't really watch much TV. People are like always trying to put me on shows and stuff like that. The stuff that I'm watching is like, there's this one show on Netflix called Moving Art. And it's literally just like videos of these natural places in the world with like music underneath it. And I'm just like, I'll just watch the world. And I'm like, this is good.
But I will say though, like when you switch from something like, from like a really bad trashy TV show or a criminal show or a murder show to that, like that's a radical jump, right?
It's a big shift. It's a big shift.
It's a big shift, but maybe we need some of that to feel a little bit better, you know?
Yeah. Bueno, te digo, because like I watched all of Selling Sunset. Every season of Selling Sunset, I watched. And this was recent when I was in New York with my brother. And I was just like, how great though. Like I watched it like through the lens of like, these are people in the world. Just like, and this is who they think they are. So like I watched it as a social study where like I'm picking it
with
apart.
A different lens. Yeah,
exactly. It's not saying don't watch your trash. Just be conscious that this is trash. And watch it through like that lens of, and not in like, I'm judging you and you're garbage or whatnot. Like these people have their own lives, their own collection of experiences that made them feel like this was the most authentic projection of themselves. And like, I'm not going to be one to be like, you're wrong. You shouldn't have called her names. And you are a really bad person. Like who am I? They're living in $1 million mansion somewhere. I don't think they care about my judgment. But like to that extent, it's just like, like watch it and watch whatever, like people are just like, well, what if I self-sabotage again? Like self-sabotage is like a thing. It's like self-sabotage, but like just do it. Be conscious about it. Be aware of it.
Or limit yourself in a way that's healthy for you, you know?
Like I'm going to let myself go up to here and at here, this is done. Because sometimes, that's how we kind of keep the ego like malleable. It's just like, okay, fine. You feel like you got to do this thing. We're going to do it. I'm going to give you your you time. Pero like, ya si a esta hora, like we're done. And we're going to do something different. We're going to pull the journal out maybe and start writing a little bit. Or maybe we'll create a voice memo to ourselves or play some good music and move our body. Like I'm going to give you your gloom and doom. But we all know, like after this gloom and doom time, we're gonna shift gears a little bit, and how you shift gears is completely up to you. I threw some concepts and like things that are practical that I find that are helpful for me, but like that might not work. That might be the language that speaks to you. So, but if you've never tried it, just try it and see what happens.
No, and it's like having that conversation with yourself, and literally, it's reparenting as well. It's literally you telling yourself, "I'll have 10 minutes of like mindless scrolling, but after I gotta do this thing, or after I need to, have that time with myself, no distractions, But it's literally reparenting because those voices and inside your head, you know what I'm talking about. Like I'm not saying, from like, voices. And I'm like, no, there is different parts of you. There's a part of you that wants to just sit and watch Netflix and completely zone out from reality. But there is that part of you, of your future self, that knows for you to get to where you want to get to, you got to read that next chapter of the book that's sitting on your desk, and you just have to be like you said, there's some days where you're like, what? Okay, 20 minutes on my phone. That's all right. But that means 20 minutes on the book,
Yeah, seriously.
So, but I've had to reparent that. Like,
But like make it fun too. It's like, and then the thing is, you're going to get resistance. You're not going to want to do it. And then it's just like, okay, well, we're feeling some feelings. Like, what type of parent would you have wanted? And this is not to take away from our caretakers and the work that they put into, like, thankful to caretakers all across the world. Cause like, although many of us, we weren't blessed with the most ideal experience, we were blessed with the experience that we were meant to have. And they gave us from the toolbox that, they had access to. So, take that hopefully that unlocks something inside of you. But with that being said, like, how would you parent yourself today? And maybe it's not even parenting. Maybe like, how would you be the best friend to yourself today? You know, like, how would you do it? You know, I think with parent, it's like, there needs to be an authoritative sort of person in your head, but it's not authority. It's encouragement.
Yes.
It's
your cheerleader.
Thank you. Yes, it's a cheerleader. It's gentle. And this is not cheerleader in like a fake way. Like, how would you cheerlead yourself? How would you cheerlead your best friend? How would you talk to you or a stranger on the street who was going through something that you were going through? Because if you're listening to something like this, you're empathetic and you're probably like token friend in your group who is always there, probably a very good listener, probably just like always like, oh my God, there's such a friend, a good friend, such a great person. But then when it comes for you, you're like arrastrada, just like, oh my God, pero like, Jesus, take the wheel. What is happening in my life? How do I take care of me? It's just like, take the advice you've been dosing out, my love, first and foremost. And like make it fun, you know. Maybe you don't want to get off your phone right away. Be like, you know, you can let yourself slide a bit. You can be like, okay, 5 more minutes and a snack. That works for me.
The snack always works.
The snacks always work. 5 more minutes and a snack, and like go for it. And like these are the ways we bring ourselves to the work that we're going to feel resistant at first, but we know is good for us, like reading that book, journaling and whatnot. And then make that process fun with your snack, or by playing some good music that you like, you know, or maybe lighting a candle, making it an event, making it exciting for yourself, you know, creating a ritual for yourself so that it's not like, all right, I guess I'll sit down and I'll talk about my feelings to myself.
Like, make it intimate time with yourself, you know. And it's like, and like you said, I mean, it's not cheerleading in a cheesy way, it's not being your best friend in a cheesy way. Like that is where it's at. Truthfully, being able to enjoy that soul level time that you have with yourself is like, I think has been like one of the biggest keys on kind of discovering how to have a relationship with yourself again. Because I was never told you could have a relationship with yourself.
Same.
I was like your soul. I was like, what the hell? I was like, what is that? Like that doesn't make sense. You know, I'm like, wait, so I don't have to spend time with people all the time. You know, I don't have to do all these things. Well, you don't. The way that you learn how to take care of yourself is beautiful, you know, but that intentional time is so needed. The hardest pill that I had to swallow was that reflection of, think about how you talk to your best friend or the people that you love. What would you tell them? How would you speak to them? And then you do it. And then you ask yourself, well, how do you speak to yourself? It's completely different, right? And then you ask yourself, would you ever say the things that you tell yourself to someone that you love? You wouldn't. You wouldn't. No. Because you love them, you want what's best for them. You would never sit there and criticize them. You would never make them feel ashamed of who they are. You would never make them feel bad about where they are in their lives and their healing. You would never do that to them. So why are you doing it to yourself? Every single day? That was the hardest pill for me to swallow, because I did not get that. Like what you just said was that, like, I'm sure you're someone that loves to give advice, that loves to be there, that loves to love people. That was who I was. But I couldn't do it for myself. I was not my own cheerleader. I was my own bully, my own destruction. We can't do that. We can't do that. We have to treat ourselves as we love the people that we love.
Talk to yourself with dulzura. And like, I talk to myself with babies and all the things. Like, I stopped waiting for a man to like talk to me with those words of cariño and whatnot. I said, no, fuck that noise. I'm gonna talk to me like that. I'm gonna love up on me like that. I'm not gonna wait around for someone to do that for me. I'm not gonna wait around for the right time to feel happy and secured and loved. I'm gonna do it right now. And right now, and it's gonna feel awkward as fuck at first. Like,
it's awkward. It is. It really is. Telling yourself in the mirror, be like, like sometimes I do it and I'm like, but I'm like, no, give yourself that freaking high five in the mirror tomorrow. That. And you will feel the difference.
Start with the high five. If like, that's the thing too. It's like, meet yourself where you're at. Like, it's not about like jumping from barely tolerating yourself to like now loving yourself. Like it doesn't happen. You got to build trust. You know, we're talking about building trust with a relationship that may have been sitting on a shelf for like decades for some of us, you know, and like now we're like metaphorically like blowing off the dust of this like book of self and being like, okay, now I'm gonna love myself. No baby, no ma'am, no ham, no turkey. There's gonna be resistance and it's gonna be weird, and let it be weird. You know, make yourself laugh in the mirror, make funny faces at yourself in the mirror, lighten it up a bit, because you're taking it way too seriously.
It's not meant to be serious.
It's not. It's not meant to be serious. It's meant to be a good time. We're meant to enjoy ourselves here. We're meant to, even in the moments that we've been conditioned to think it's unenjoyable, there's a lot of beauty in those moments, in the discomfort. It's just not meaning that like with these tips that we give you, you're gonna live, laugh,
your
love
life is
your
gonna be
life.
Perfect.
We're
listen to Daniel and like
yeah. No. You're gonna be farting rainbows tomorrow, and like we're just gonna be kumbayaing all the way until the end of time. No, we came here to experience. The experience is not limited to just good, quote unquote, good experiences. You know, the bad things happen for us to transform, to motivate, to create more momentum and force, you know. It doesn't mean that we're like, I will say that maybe you'll have more better days than bad days, maybe. But like, I think what's most important is that you'll gain language to navigate the bad days that are more, which would be more life-giving than life-depleting.
Yeah.
So
more compassion for the rough days.
Yeah,
you know,
you gotta
when
love
you
yourself.
Get through it,
yeah,
it'll be better.
We've gone through so much. We've gone through so much to make it here in how many years you have, whatever age you are or prescribed to, because age is a social construct. You're here now, and that's the most important thing. And like, you've already gone through it. So go through something else and go through something that feels better, that is more knowing and aware, and just like in the moment where everything is happening. The universe communicates in the now.
Yeah, and you haven't come this far to just go this far.
Yep.
You haven't listened to this podcast for this long to just not change your life at this point, okay?
If you haven't changed your life by now,
you know, like you haven't done this for no reason, that means that you are vibing, that you are getting something, some kind of something inside of you. It's like, I resonate with this. Then you need to follow us, you know?
Yes, follow
us, support us on this journey too. Please. You know, go support Daniel and everything that they're doing. I want to give you some time also to share where people can find you.
Oh, word. That's right.
A few things that you are like giving to this world, to your community. I want that time as well. So let's take to do that right now. Because if we don't, I know you and I can talk all night.
I have to go soon too.
I know. I was like, don't you do something at 7? That's what I was saying. I knew it. I'm like, don't you always have something at 7? So I'm like, okay.
Yo, I mean, but I've been having such a good time. Like, this has been so great. And like, I would love to be back literally anytime.
We will be back because we can keep going.
Yeah. Like, we can do a part 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like, you are stuck with me now. And like,
oh, you're stuck with me too.
I've gotten so much from this interaction, and it's so beautiful to have these like moments of reflection, to just like be mirrors for each other, and also like contextualize our experience, and to, you know, really put it out into the universe. Like, this is what we're working on. This is where we're at. And like, this is where we're going. With that being said,
we're going, I don't know where we're going. But
I don't know where we're going, but we going. We going somewhere. So yeah, the socials, all that fun stuff. My name is Daniel Colon, also known as Color Me Crazy. You can find me on Instagram, on TikTok, with the handle This Is Color Me Crazy. If you want to go ahead and look me up on there. We do guided meditations on Instagram Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, completely intuitively led by me. Very informal, very easy meditation, just that anybody can grasp and just like hop in. I'm all about demystifying all of these principles and making them accessible. And I also do Monday Chat, Heal, and Chill on Instagram Live every Monday, which is like a Q&A sort of situation like this, where we talk about all these things. Whatever question you have, there's no boundary, nothing. As long as, you know, it's respectful, we will talk about it. And we heal, we chill, we do all the things. Yeah, those are all the handles, all the things. If you're led to any of one of those platforms, you'll be led to like my YouTube, my Twitter, all that stuff. But this is where we're at. I'm so like buzzed. I'm gonna like buzz by conversation.
I was gonna say, I'm like, you're on your next call right now. You're live at 7. I'm like, I'm gonna go hop on there while I eat. I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna see this energetic flow continue onto there, you know?
And like, we go in deep. If you thought this conversation, like, we go in deep. We go a couple hours at least. And like, you know, and by the end of it, I'm so ready for bed and I'm so exhausted, but in like the best ways, you know? It's a different type of exhaustion.
It is, because you're also speaking from your soul a lot of times. Yeah. So you also know that your inner truth is also connecting to other people that are listening. You know, so I absolutely, that's what I'm saying. That's the beauty of social when you can do it. When it's harnessed the right way.
Oh my God, you'll have to come on. You'll have to come on. I'll have to bring you as a guest.
We're going to make it happen. Yeah.
And like, we're collaborating now.
Yes. No, we are. I was going to say, I'm like, I hope Daniel is going to get used to this because we got it. I don't know. Something is here. We're going to continue to uncover it.
Please. Pero te digo, like, this is like universal forces at its like chef's kiss finest, because it was only like a week or so ago that I was talking to people and I'm like, you know, I'm ready to like talk to other people, meet other people, like engage and collaborate. But I was like, but I wanted to be the right people. And I said it on live. I was like, universe, I wanted to be the right people. I don't want to have to do siphoning. I don't want to have to do like, I don't want, because like you can easily diminish, like bring the manifestation to like bring me the options, bring me the people, bring me the opportunities, and the universe like, here are all the opportunities. And then I was like, I don't want to siphon. Like if they hit up my inbox, they're gonna be the ones. And like you came through, and without hesitation, I had to stop myself from responding immediately because I didn't want to be like that crazy person, you know? Like I didn't want to be that crazy person, but like I responded within like literally a half an hour. I was just like, yes.
You know, it's so funny that you said that though, because when I reached out, I legitimately felt like I was shooting my shot. I was like, maybe they'll reply, you know, like I was very much on that mindset, like, you know what, boom, you know, I'm just gonna go for it, because I had literally seen yourself a long time ago, you know, until I finally was like, maybe I heard that call that was like, it's time.
Oh, you did. It was time. So, I put my bat signal out there. And
you did. I answered. I was like, Yasmin, I am right. She's here. You know.
I'm so glad you were.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Truly, thank you. Eternally grateful for you coming on and sharing your time with my listeners, but also most importantly with me. Again, you and I know we're going to connect more off of here. So this is only the beginning. Also, if anyone listening or watching loved this, it'll probably happen again. So stay tuned for that.
If you want a part 2, if you let us know. Yes, which you will. This was juicy. This was nice.
Yes,
this was
loved it.
We learned so much. Like that word game. Oh,
that was amazing. I'm so ready and excited for people to just listen and get insight, and also just spend a nice time listening to the soul chat. So thank you so much. I'm going to let you get ready for your call. I'm going to eat my snack.
Yes, come on, snack. And you worked hard.
Yes, I'm like, my body is ready for that snack, for a little mochi, a mango mochi. I don't know why that's specifically what I want right now. So we're going to go get that. And I will hop onto your live later, and I'm going to watch, I'm going to listen, and I'm going to vibe later as I chill as well. So thank you.
Much love. So grateful for you. Thank you all for listening, and maybe we'll see each other soon.
We will. We're like, we don't got to say bye.
Yeah. Till next time.